All right, this will be Module 6. This is the last of the modules that I have developed. And hopefully this link works, as I have to fix the other one still. All right, so Module 6 did the same thing. So let me go over here, and I'll have to relink that. I'm going to leave the page. And I'm going to come down to Module 6. So obviously you had figured out that there are more than one way to get to a module. I've done those links a couple times and it's dropping them, so I'm not 100% sure as to why that's happening. But Module 6. So let's start here. So Module 6 is looking at student discipline from morality and equity issue, and really taking this from a disproportionality of suspensions for minority students and identified subgroups. So as we talk about that, the push for this is coming in looking through California is now holding districts accountable and publicizing this data through the data dashboard for every school within California, as long as they have more than 10 students. And really tracking not only ethnicity status, but also all of the identified subgroups. So homeless, foster, EL students, and it's very interesting to look at how districts do, because you can have a district that, and it's color-coded, that's green all the way through, yet when you go down and you look at specific ethnicities, that their color is red. So coming through, and that's the California Data Dashboard. So to look at the purpose of this module is to present some of the current reality related to the reduction of student suspensions and expulsions, and the use of restorative practice as a means to addressing this issue. So my caveat on this, doing what I do and working in presentations and working up in the state and working for the district that I do, there has been we have two different things happening. We know there is a disproportionality for discipline and class removals for identified subgroups. And now I'm going to talk specifically about ethnicity. So restorative justice has been a very big push that has come in. And now I'm going to talk honest in the Central Valley and districts that I work with. There has been a pushback from staffing that the students aren't being held accountable, and that is creating a safety issue for the teachers and really changing some of the dynamics, and not necessarily in a positive way, of the interactions that is happening. So this module really is going to present two different things, and it really is an honest module about the difficulties and some of the things that you may be experiencing within that. If not, just know that there's a 90% chance this is happening in some of your schools. So I've got some articles to go for you to read. Fresno Unified Teachers, Restorative Justice. So you'll look at that. An article, and again, this is public opinion coming out. Are schools too easy on unruly students? Out of control classroom. And then articles on teacher and student discipline. Racial disparities, school suspensions, and the long-term effects. And so you've got two groupings of articles. You have the groupings that are going to present that other side and really make the argument that, you know what, we're not being hard enough on the students. It's kind of that pound of flesh. And then the articles coming back out, the last three are really going to look at the negative effects and the racial disparities that happen. And the long-term effects when we remove students from classes and from the educational environment. So you've got your Module 6 discussion. The equity audit piece is going to be your individual plan of action. And so this is going to go through. So now we're going to finish off and say, okay, so you've done it. You've looked at the data. This is what your statistics and your research questions have found. Now, what are you going to do as a district or an organization based on these findings? So it's really putting the rubber to the road, and it's going in and saying, okay, this is my plan of action for my district and what I'm going to do. So 1 to 2 pages. just outlining how you would attack what you found, how you'd communicate it. Is it going to be a staff meeting? Is it going to be to the leadership within the school? Is it going to be to a parent group? Is it going to be to, you know, second grade teachers? So you have some flexibility with this. You don't have to necessarily cover the entire district. Sometimes that isn't, you know, necessarily reasonable. So you're going to just pick out thing, and what would be your plan of action? So, you know, you're going to work with your administrators to schedule a meeting at the high school and do teacher training. What type of training maybe would you do to address that issue? And then going through what kind of data would you monitor to see if it was successful. So again, I hope you enjoy this module. And again, this one's presenting two very different opinions on where we're at kind of as a collective group in California for a large part of our districts in the area of school discipline.